Hello, my name is Savannah and I am a soon-to-be IB survivor. And there's a few things that me and my associate would like to help you survive IB too. So for that, we are putting together this small list called the IB Survival Guide. And I know it's weird to start out with something as simple as materials, of course, but I personally am of the opinion that materials are the one thing that's at the backbone of IB's, how you start IB at least. Let's start with paper. Paper might seem simple because you need that for every class, right? Like your whole life you've loose leaf, little papers like this. Nope, not like that. I don't know what that was. So you're gonna need a notebook, just like any other notebook, you know. It's babe. And normally, like, I would assume it would be a given, but I have had too many times where I come in and there's a test or something I need to do and I need paper and I don't have it and then I have to take from my friends. But paper, you do a lot of your own writing in IB, and if that doesn't sound like your thing, math is also not as much loosely, but you're going to need a large 5-subject notebook. I bought one 5-subject notebook for this year and I went through it like halfway through the year. You need it for math and chemistry to be able to do these problems and take these notes. And I get that like maybe some of you don't take notes now because you don't feel like you need to. And I advise it for IB, but once again, I know that everybody processes information differently, and if you don't want to take written notes, you don't have to, but it is important to be able to work out problems in math and chemistry and also to be able to do tests, because IB has 2 different types of tests, or 3, depending on the class that you're in. And those are the papers, paper 1, 2, and 3. Those are typically written, and you'll do a lot of practice ones leading up to the IB exams at the end of the year. So I think it's important that you have a lot of paper, that you're never out, because you might walk in and you've forgotten that you had a paper 1 and you need your paper because you're still doing loose leaf because you haven't gotten that far in the process yet. So I think it's important that all of you have paper at all times with you during your IB career. Speaking of forgetting having tests, I didn't think this would be that important for me, and it was at the end of the day, is to get yourself a calendar. IB is a little more intense than your typical middle school class, if that's where you're coming from, or AP classes if you're coming in from high school. It's not necessarily that it's hard to remember things, but I know that everyone's different, and I personally have had a lot of trouble remembering dates. Like, I had a paper 1 the other week, and I had completely forgotten about it, and then I missed school, and then I had to make it up, and it's a lot. These practice paper 1s and 2s will make or break your ability to do the last one, and you always want to be prepared for it. You don't want to be that one kid that didn't prepare or wasn't ready. Even though I get that it can be hard to remember things like this, and it's not a big deal if you do. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't beat yourself up over it if you do. But I would recommend having a calendar where you just write things down when you have it. Agendas are helpful. I find them hard to use because I never bring them where I'm supposed to bring them. So I would recommend just having a calendar in your room or a portable daily planner that you can bring around with you that will always have your stuff on it. I think that's an important thing to have. Moving on, IB is rather technological, which you get at a lot of schools. You go to the computer labs, everybody goes to the computer labs, and we love those, and they're fun, but at the end of the day, ultimately, I know most people do, but I know that not all people think that it's necessary, or not all people have them. Not everyone is as fortunate as some others. If you're going to take IB, you're going to need to try to get yourself a phone or a laptop that you can type on at home, or have a library close by where you can go and type these things, because IAs, which are internal assessments, are typically typed at home. You do a little bit of work on them at school, but for the most part, you need to be able to work on them and type on them at home. A lot of homework involves computer and sharing things and being able to have that access in technology. So if you don't have your own personal laptop or your own personal smartphone that you can type on, I would recommend a laptop over a smartphone, but that's just my personal preference. Then I think it's important to get one. A lot of these things you would have for normal high school, and these are just caveats, extras, things you might need to help you survive just a little bit easier are some scissors, some glue, some whiteout because everyone makes mistakes, and pen is pretty much mandatory for a lot of this stuff, like IB Math, mandatory pen, stuff like that. And the last and most important material that I want to bring up is annotation devices. Colorful pens, colorful highlighters, colorful pencils, whatever works for you best for annotating, bring. Because English is one of the bigger classes, or whatever your A language is, because I know that's not always English everywhere. Analysis requires all of these things, and teachers don't make a lot of money, and kids tend to destroy those markers that you find in the classrooms that you're supposed to use for annotation. I personally bring around a huge carousel of pens, which is a bit much, I do agree. They just make me happy, but it's important that you have at least like 5 colors with you at all times for these annotation purposes, which I get not thinking that's a big deal or not wanting to carry around that much extra stuff. I used to only carry around 1 pen a day, and that was not great for me. So I heavily recommend that annotation devices are something that you have with you at all times. So just a little recap. Paper, important, always have it. Miscellaneous, various items that you might not think are necessary or mandatory will help you get along through your day easier. I recommend them. I don't think they're mandatory because someone else will probably have them, but it is a good idea to have them with you because of how important getting through the day can be. So, paper, miscellaneous items, get yourself a calendar, planner, anything that can help you stay organized, because organization is key in IB, no matter how cheesy that is or how cliche of a sentence I said. But ultimately, those are the things you're going to want, and most importantly, do not forget these annotation devices. I think they are so important and so vital to how quickly and efficiently you can annotate things, and they can just overall make your day brighter because everybody loves to write in colors and have a little bit of vibrant stuff on their paper, because you know, why not? And this has been an IB Survival Guide chapter. I hope you survive a little bit better because of it. I really do hope that this helps you through your day, maybe even just once. Thank you, and have a wonderful day, and good luck in your IB classes.